I'm doing this video at a request from a friend of mine wanting to get into reloading, and basically what you needed to get started. Well, the first thing, as you can see, is you need the reloading manual. And if you're new to reloading, this is the manual to get. Modern Reloading by Richard Lee. Now, this is the second edition I have here. I believe they have a third edition out, but this is what you need. This will give you information about reloading and all the tools that you need. This right here is the anniversary kit, Lee Anniversary Kit. This is a single stage press kit. It comes with everything but the manual that you would need to get into reloading and your dies. It has the press, single stage press, has a balance beam type scale, a funnel, a perfect powder measure. It has the Auto Prime shell holder set. These work with the Auto Prime system, which you get with attachments for small and large primers. You get the primer pocket cleaner. You get a tube of lube. You get a cutter and stud for trimming your brass, and a chamfering tool for taking the burrs off the inside of the brass and the outside of the brass where the bullet will go. I'll show some of those tools that I've got. Of course, here's the funnel that comes with the kit. This is what you put on top of your brass. I've got some brass laying here for 30-30. You put this on top of your brass. Fits right over it to dump your powder in. The cutter, this is the cutter, goes with the trim length gauge. Now you get the cutter and you get this stud. When you buy a trim length gauge for your caliber, and I have a 30-30 trim length gauge here, this is what you get. This little needle here will go through your primer pocket once you've deprimed the brass. But this screws onto the cutter, and then you get a shell holder that comes with the trim length gauge, and they're numbered, but you'll get one specifically for the caliber that you're loading. They come, I've got one here that I don't use. Here's one for 300 Winchester, and as you can see, there's the shell holder and there's the trim length gauge. That's how they come packaged. Okay. The chamfering tool, this does the inside and the outside of the brass. You stick your brass in here and do the outside. This does the inside. Then you just twist it to take the burrs off. This is the priming system. Your primers go in here. They go there, and you'll see the little ramp pushes up. Okay, I've got a shell holder in there for 30-30. But you know, this is how it works. Your primers are in here, you shake them, they fall in the hole there, your brass is sitting on top, and you squeeze the handle to seat your brass. Okay, this is the resizing lubrication. If you're doing rifle dies, your rifle dies are not carbide. Your pistol dies are carbide. So when you're doing rifle brass, you have to lubricate it. And this is just a white paste. Put a little on your finger, rub it on the brass. Keeps the casing from sticking in the die when you run it up. Or yeah, sticking in the die when you run it up. Now these are the Auto Prime shell holder set. You get a whole set there. Now, of course, when you get this set, there'll be one hole empty. I've got some extra ones, so I've got all 4 holes filled. But these fit into the priming tool that I just showed you. That priming tool. They fit in there. this is the press that will come with the kit. This is a single stage press. I have a universal decapping die in it. It doesn't resize, just decaps. Because I've moved up to turn press. But this is what you get in the kit. And then you would have to order your dies. These here are 9mm dies from Lee. They're in a 3-hole turret, but they come in this case, come with instructions. Tells you how to load them and how to set the dies in. Then you also need shell holders. This looks just like the red box I showed you, but these are universal shell holders. And of course I've got some in the presses here, but this comes with 11. You end up with one empty hole, but these fit various calibers. Some of these shell holders will accommodate different caliber of brass. And what else you would need, of course, in that kit comes that scale. Like I said, this is a balance beam scale, magnetic. Your powder goes in the front, it goes in the tray here. You adjust, this has got a ball. I don't like this scale that much, but if you're doing 40 grains and you had to do 48 grains, you slide this scale, there's some numbers on the side. You put your powder in there, and if it comes out to the right grains, it'll balance out. Okay. Then the next thing, you'd want to have a trickle charger. And this here has a hole in it, in that rod. But you pour powder in there, and then you spin this knob, and that hole picks up grains of powder, and it comes out here. So when you have the balance beam scale out, and you're weighing your powder, you can, if you don't have enough, you can rotate that a little bit, drop a few grains in it, check the weight. Of course, you would need a reloading tray. This happens to be an RCBS loading block. Accommodates different calibers. And then, last but not least, you should get a bullet puller. And you use this to, if you mess up a bullet, you can actually save your bullet, save your powder, and save your brass. But this is what you would use. Okay, another thing you'd need when you're reloading, of course, is your bullets. Now these are for 30-30. These are Hornady 30 caliber .308. There's 100 in a box, 160 grain FTX. This is what they use to make their Lever Evolution ammo with. It's got the rubber tip on it, so you can load 30-30s in a tube-fed magazine. Don't have to worry about igniting the other primer. Speaking of primers, the other thing you need is primers. These happen to be Wolf large rifle primers that I'll use in the 30-30. And then, of course, if you're loading for 223, you use a small rifle primer. For pistol ammo, you have small and large pistol primers. For loading 9mm, 38, 357, you want a small pistol primer. I happen to use CCI for that. Now I showed you the bar scale, but another good thing to have is a digital scale, just to confirm your bar scale, that you're getting the right grains. These, I mean, you can pick up name brand ones. I don't even know what the name brand of this one is. My good buddies at American Archery sold me this one. The measures in grains, grams, ounces, and carats. Of course, I've got it set for grains. That's what I use it for. And it's very accurate. Of course, and if you're going to reload, you're going to have brass. Here is 30-30 brass, been tumbled. It has been deprimed. As you can see, the hole through the primer pocket. The primer pocket's been cleaned. It has been sized with the Lee trim length gauge. It's been deburred on the inside and the outside, so it's ready for being primed. Powder charge being put through it, and bullet being pressed into it to the crimp groove that's on the bullet. And then I do roll crimp. I don't have factory crimp die, so I do roll crimp. And nothing wrong with doing a roll crimp if you trim length your cases. Make them all nice and square. If they're not, and you go to seat a bullet and do a roll crimp, if they're not square, you'll get a buckle in the side of the brass. But basically those are the tools that you need to get started with in reloading. Probably get by with $150, $175 in what you need to get started. You can pick up your brass, you know, from shooting your own rifle. Just keep your empties. Shooting range you go to, if you get their permission, you can pick up brass there. One other thing I forgot to even mention, the most important part to reloading is powder. I use IMR 4064 in all my hunting rifles, 30-06, 25-06, 30-30, 8x57 Mauser, 303 British. It's a stick powder. It's very versatile. For pistol powder, I use Alliant Unique powder, which can also be used for shotgun reloading. But those are the main things you got to have: bullets, primers, powder, and of course brass casings. And the equipment. And like I said, $150, $175, you get the Lee Anniversary Kit. You get pretty much everything you need except for your dies. And you'd be on your way to reloading.